So today I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's pretty relevant to being an artist, and that's photographing your portfolio. So what I have behind me is this no-tan piece that I did while studying with my former teacher, Noah Buchanan, over at the College of San Mateo. And so the way I am photographing my portfolio is very specific. Right now, what you're looking at is the main camera that I use in pretty much all my videos and in everything that I do. And it's aimed at a sort of parallel to this wall. And basically all I've done is taped this up, kind of like slanted and crooked or whatever. It doesn't really matter because this camera that I'm speaking into right now is obviously mounted on a tripod, and it has all these different adjustments and stuff. But essentially what I'm doing now is I zoom in as tightly as I can. I make the camera itself level with the top edge of this. So if I have to tweak the camera a little bit to line it up the right way, you know, that's fine. And then once that is set up, I actually take the photo. Now, the reason why it's important to do the photo in this manner, where you have it mounted to the wall and you have the camera for the most part like 90 degrees up, and then if you have to tilt it again, because I kind of just quickly taped this on there, I'm not really going to spend a lot of time trying to tape this. It's easier for me to tilt the camera, you know, left or right a little bit using the photo hinge. So the reason why it's like this though is that most people don't have a top-down tripod mount. It's actually not a tripod mount, it's a table mount. So it's a 4-leg table, and there's a hole in the center that the camera mounts into, looking directly down. And you have to have like a special light source to make those work, and it's just a real pain in the butt. And what I'm going to do is show you some photos that I did initially while capturing this, and then I will show you the photos that I did afterwards when I captured it like this. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just going to very briefly show you, this is my dad's camera I'm borrowing right here, this one right here you're looking at. So this is my main camera. They're both D3300s. You can see that I have a monitor on top. That monitor is so that I can flip it around and better see how I'm lining it up from behind, and when I'm lining it up from in front, I can look at it. I just want you to see very quickly like the setup I'm using. Obviously the painting is much lower than the current tripod setup because I was filming myself standing in front of it. But what you do is you lower the center tower to line up with the piece and you crop it. So that's just kind of like a better idea of how I'm shooting everything. You know, it's mounted on a nice tripod. It's a photo tripod. It's a very stable, heavy metal tripod. As you can see, like, it's pretty well built. It's pretty sturdy. And yeah, so that's how I'm doing everything there. So in the first set of photos, what you see is the content of the photo is slightly skewed. And the reason is because I have this Instagram post that I just recently uploaded of me initially photographing my portfolio. So it was Thursday I was working on it, Wednesday or Thursday I was working on it, and I had my camera set at a 45-degree angle down, looking down at my work, which was laying flat on the ground. And I didn't realize it at first, but I was doing it completely wrong because the part of the picture that was closest to the camera was roughly in proportion, but the part that was furthest from the camera was fisheyed. And that was really awkward because the whole point of doing this is to make the figure drawings look anatomically correct and to scale. So if something looks fisheyed, that's just not right. And you don't want to include a bunch of pictures of your work that you spend a lot of time trying to scale and get proportional and get like the accurate rendering of the human body. In, you know, in my case with Mr. Buchanan, we studied the 7.5 head system. So you don't want to spend all that time working on your proportions, measuring out the 7.5 heads and getting like the body proportions right on paper, only to mess it up when you're capturing your work for your portfolio. It just does you a disservice. I'm photographing my portfolio to get ready for National Portfolio Day. I'm going to be applying for an MFA. So when I go there, I want my portfolio to look right. I want it to look professional because I want people to take me seriously and to take me, you know, to be an aspiring professional. It's just a disservice to yourself if your portfolio looks unkempt, unorganized, and worse, like poorly photographed and disproportionate. It is a disservice to your work because you put all that time in to get the proportions right the first time. So just take the time to, you know, mount your board onto a wall and then just tape your stuff to the board itself. This is just a regular old clipboard. It's got the clips down here at the bottom. You can't see them because I have them the other way around so that it would be easier to mount this up. But yeah, you know, I just zoom in, crop everything out, neatly zoom in and focus on the image, get it super cropped in nice and tight, make it look focused and make it look professional, and you'll have a good looking portfolio. And yeah, so I'll be on Instagram in these coming days and weeks uploading all of my portfolio. I'll be updating theaciddrip.com with a new gallery page, which will have all of my work on it from 2018 onwards. I'll have some older stuff prior to that, but I'm going to try and just stick to things basically like post 2018. There's a couple of projects that I worked on in 17 that I might also post, but I really want to keep everything current. That's one of the other things. You want to show your latest and most sophisticated and best stuff in your portfolio because, you know, you don't want to bore people with old work. You want to show them, you know, what you're doing now and where you're at now, not stuff from 5-10 years ago. I got a bunch of stuff from like 2009 to 2012 that I'm just not going to put up there. Some of those projects I might revisit, and if that's the case, then after I revisit them and complete the revisited version, then I might post like the early iterations from way back in the day. But I'm not going to post those iterations until I have the revised versions first shown, because I just don't want to put myself in a position where my work looks subpar. So yeah, I'll be uploading everything on Instagram, and you know, you can follow me at theaciddrip. I use the hashtag despite exhaustion always dream. That's part of my logo, you know, which is an acronym for DEAD. So you can go ahead and check that out. And yeah, so thanks for watching and take care. This is the Acid Drip.